And I'm Julie.
Join us for unbuttoned and unedited conversations.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. My name is Sarah, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to welcome back Rhiannon Fish. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I had the best time with you guys last time. I was talking to Chris, and we just didn't want it to end. It was so much fun. So
that was a really fun podcast. We laughed. I think we laughed the entire time.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
And the movie was so fun, and I kept looking at it. I'm like, "That's a tropical movie. They're warm."
Yeah.
And it was so super cute, and we had a lot of fun watching it. It was so great to talk to you guys. And then right after you guys were on, then Chris is like, "Oh, and now I'm doing this whole TV series."
Yeah. Yes.
Like, and then your movie popped up. I was like, well, those two are just like continuing to.
Yeah, and I'm actually just about to leave. We'll give you guys the top secret tea here. I'm just about to leave to do 2 more. I won't say the locations, but 2 more international Hallmark movies.
Wow.
Very, very excited about. It's the same production company that we did Costa Rican Wedding with. So very similar sort of vibe. I love working with them because none of it's ever really cheated. It says we saw and Chris and I talked about. It's all very, very real. And we're going to do 2 more of those. So I'm so excited.
Wow. And are you filming them back to back? So you'll be okay.
Yeah, there's like
an adventure
6 days in between. It's going to be wild. But the great thing is it's the same crew that's doing both.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we're going to be in the trenches together. Yeah. We wrap on Christmas Day. We'll be spending Christmas together. I'm so excited.
Wow.
That actually sounds amazing.
It does.
So are these completely separate movies, or they're like
entirely separate movies?
Okay. All right.
And I just feel so grateful. I've been so lucky with that aspect of Hallmark, is that so many of the ones I've been lucky enough to do have been these destination ones.
Yeah.
Which mean that we get to go to places that in my wildest dreams, I never would have thought I would go. And we get so lucky too, where because we're making a movie, we are granted permission to go to places that other people might not necessarily be able to go. And I'm so excited.
Wow. Okay. So do you have to pack for everything all at once, or will you be able to?
Yeah. Okay. In the same suitcase, I have a pair of bathers and my snow boots. So
I was going to say, are they different climates? Is that complicating things?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what an adventure!
How much do you pack? Like,
Yeah, that's what I thought again last night, Julie. I was looking at my suitcase and I was like, and I was starting to get stressed about it. I'm not a good packer anyway. It makes me a little bit anxious. But the thing is, I try and remind myself, as long as you've got your passport, everything else you can always figure out.
Yeah. Yes. As long as you have your passport, and that is like
all you really need.
But honestly, like, that sounds insane and so fun. What an adventure.
I'm so excited.
I hope that this time you get to stay at, whatever the party house is, and not.
Yeah, I hope so too. Part of it, we're actually shooting on, I don't know, I'll just say, on like a luxury cruise ship. So I was like, are we going to stay on the ship? Like, what's the plan here? But yeah, they always, of course, they look after us, but I'd like to be at the party house for sure.
Yeah. That's my favorite story. It's like they're at the party house partying. We're like in the jungle.
All alone.
We'll be looking for party house pictures at some point. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Just behind the scenes. I don't know what you guys are doing, but
probably won't be. I'll be in the jungle again. Yeah.
Do you have any that can't live without packing tips? Like, what's your secret to making all this work?
I like to have everything medical that you could ever need. Okay. I don't have a bag that doesn't have Band-Aids in it, or like Tylenol or Gravol, all those things. Obviously for myself, but also I like to, in like a sort of, I don't know if it's motherly or like a nurse sort of way, where if anybody needs anything, I'm always like, don't worry, I got you.
I got you covered.
But I always have that at all times.
I seriously have had that for a long time. It's especially when we had all of our kids with.
Yeah.
It was just like, because of the mother/medical thing just would flare, right?
It just feels, I feel reassured knowing like I know I've got this if we need it. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like on the airplane. I always feel like I need everything.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Always. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, especially with the kids.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like an amazing adventure, and then we'll have 2 more movies to talk about.
Yay, sure. I know. I can't wait. Yes.
Do you have any idea when they'll push them out, like this spring, or
they usually turn them out pretty quickly? I mean, maybe it'll be part of, what was the movie I did with Chris? What rollout was that? That was like this
summer something.
Yeah. So so it might be those. It sort of feels like it's in that sort of family. Because obviously neither of them are Christmas movies. So I think it'll probably be a part of that rollout that we were in last time.
Okay, so we'll keep our eyes out for those. But we should talk about your Christmas movie. Yes, A Christmas Castle Proposal, which is the sequel to why am I drawing a blank right now? A Royal in Paradise.
It's a completely different title. That's why it doesn't.
I think I spent half of Mitchell's podcast calling it a Royal Proposal or something like that.
Because it's totally, I was just talking to the writer/director about it, and we were talking about the title. It's kind of cool because it becomes then a standalone movie.
Yeah,
really, the 2 titles have very little to do with each other, so it's easy to get mixed up there. I totally get it.
But A Christmas Castle Proposal comes out this Saturday, October 26th on Great American Family. So tell us a little bit about that. And bringing Olivia back.
It was the best. So often with these, of course, they are just sort of one-offs, but to have the opportunity to revisit these characters, because I did feel like there was more story to tell here. And it also meant too, I actually, the director gave me an edit of it. So I just watched it as well. And it was so different. The pace is sort of different. Unlike when it's the first one, it's kind of like go, go, go. You got to meet everybody, establish everybody, and everybody's it's kind of high energy often, I find. This was cool because I felt that like even Olivia, we were able to sort of settle into the character and she was able to struggle. I think sometimes, especially the leads, it sort of is like this, everything has to be okay in those, the brief time that we've got with them. But because this was seeing Olivia for the second time, we were able to see that character falter. And I thought it was really, really cool.
I like that because in the first movie, it felt like the beach was where Olivia was at home, and she's not there this time, right? She's somewhere else. So
exactly. Even while I was watching it, I was like, why do I seem miserable? I was concerned. And then I was like, oh, right. That's because I was supposed to be. It wasn't until other characters started saying, like, why are you so anxious? Or you seem like something's off. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because she's having a hard time, which I loved to be able to tell that story. Because of course it's relatable. We've all, I know I can say for myself, had, it's that sort of imposter syndrome where you're somewhere and you don't feel like you deserve to be there or that you're worthy. And that is something that I think Olivia is experiencing both with her job, with the book, because the first one did so well. She's nervous about the second one. And then, of course, coming into this royal family, she feels like she doesn't belong. And I know that that's something that I have definitely experienced in many different avenues of my life.
Right. It's interesting to watch Olivia kind of overcome more than one thing. A lot of times with these kind of shorter movies, we're getting one obstacle to overcome, maybe like a half of another one. But
well said.
This is kind of really diving deep into both these.
Absolutely. And I felt that was more relatable. It's never like you've only got one thing on your plate. She had so much. And I thought, have you guys seen it? I think you have, right?
We have.
Yes. I really liked it where there's a scene where Olivia is in the hallway and they shoot it quite cool, where it's got her mom and her dad are talking to her, the prince is talking to her, and Ridley's talking to her, and they all want something from her. And then ultimately she's like, guys, stop, I have to do my job. And that's, I know how a lot of us feel all the time, where we're pulled in so many different directions. It can be very, very overwhelming.
Right. So it's overwhelming. She's not in her space. So we talked about how the beach felt pretty comfortable for her. Yeah. So where exactly is she? She's gone with Prince Alexander to where?
We're in Tarovia, which is, of course, a made-up land. One of my favorite stories is that the director was talking with the writer/director, Adrian Powers. He was talking with, executives, and they were like, well, this isn't how the monarchy works. This isn't right. Like, this doesn't make sense. And he was like, I made it up. Like, we're allowed to do whatever we want. And that's the coolest thing about Tarovia is that it's completely fictional. So down to, everything that exists in there, including how the royal system works. Mm-hmm. It's all a fantasy, like a fairy tale book, which makes it really fun.
I do love that. And I love that there's that made up place and you went with it and made its own country. In my head, I'm like, Tarovia is located in the triangulation of Great Britain, Genovia, and Scandinavia. And that's where Tarovia sits.
It absolutely makes sense to me. Wherever it was cold. So
and it's a little different, and it's got those like old world monarchy pieces to it, but there's the made up Genovian pieces.
Yeah, I love it.
Just and a little Scandinavia.
There's the B storyline, which is going on Haven Isles, which again, completely made up. Right. So yeah, it really does. I feel like they captured so well this. And it's so cool to do both. Like I love doing where we'll show like this is Costa Rica and we try and honor it as much as we can. Right. That said, it's also so cool to be like, this is completely made up. This is a fairy tale and we're going to let you in on it. And then you can interpret where you think or how you think this actually looks.
Right.
Okay. It's one of my family's favorite games is a Hallmark movie is to like, so because Genovia is very loved here at this household.
As
then
it should
we
be.
also start into where are they? Then we go into what's their fruit? What's their saying? Because Genovia had the pear. Like so we're always doing those kinds of things. So this movie started and I was like, this is gonna be great.
Oh, that makes me very happy.
And, like what is their saying? What does their flag look like? Do they have what's their oath?
Exactly. That's so cool. I also love it as well too. And again, Adrian was so great in that if ever anybody had any accent difficulties, it didn't matter because it's made up.
Right.
Like there's that room to play and make it up as you go along, which I think it's so fun and freeing as an actor.
Right.
Now we need to know what the fruit would be of that country.
Yeah, Julie.
We'll have to make it up. Julie, what do you think?
I don't know. Like, there's maybe like a specially bred crossbreeding apple that's
there you go.
Sweet but sharp, maybe. I don't know. Bake's great though.
This is what I will be thinking of while we're watching on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel like it's not a honey crisp, but in that range.
That's perfect. I think we're on to something there, Julie. Absolutely.
The Tarovia apple.
Yeah.
And
it's like extra shiny. It's almost like what you see again in the fairy tales, like the apple that's
set it out on your hand. It should be in the center places, and it's in the centerpieces. They should have them.
Yeah, I love that.
Anyways, just it could be like the apple.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be thinking about that for you.
I know. For sure. Tell us a little bit about where we're going to find Prince Alexander and Olivia as a couple.
That was the other cool part where I even thought before, of course, I knew we were doing the movie before I read the script. Mm-hmm. And I thought we were going to pick up in this fairy tale romance that we sort of left them in, but they're struggling. And again, I find that quite relatable. And I think it's really cool that GAC wanted to explore that where they're not really connecting. And Alexander's super busy with work, as is Olivia. And it's one of the first lines in the movie. She's like, I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. Like I was shocked when I started reading that. and that sweet moment, there's a moment at the start of the movie too, where she goes, and I know I've certainly been there, goes to text him something that's very loving. And like, she goes to say, I miss you. And then we see her, backspace that out because I think they're afraid to communicate that maybe what their needs are or how much they do miss each other. So a lot of the movie was them coming back together and learning what the other person needs and how they can provide that space for each other, which I loved. It was great to explore that.
Yeah.
It's you didn't come in right where you left off, which is kind of a fun jump, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But it brings you right into it. It is, as much as it's a sequel, it's very much a standalone movie.
I agree.
Yeah. It brings you all those kind of Christmas feelings. So what is the special Christmas piece about this movie?
I mean, they did not mess around with the decorations. When I walked into the palace we shot, and I'm going to mess this up what it is specifically, but it was some like government house in Australia that we were given permission to shoot in. And it was, again, none of it was cheated. There were that many flights of stairs. The ceilings were that high. And so when we walked in there, it felt like, oh my God, it felt like being in a snow globe almost. It was just magic. And I think that's where we really see that Christmas side of it. And then we also see what it's like when two very, very different families come together for Christmas. And that is one of the most beautiful things about Christmas, in my opinion, is the family aspect of it. And then combining two families, I think is something we've all been there for.
Right. Yeah. And appreciating each other's families' traditions is sometimes a little bit of a bumpy road. And
totally. Yeah, because they could not, particularly in this story, they couldn't be more different. And I loved all those storylines too, like watching what Olivia's mom and dad were going through and what Alexander, the Queen, and Ridley, what they were going through. And it was, everybody was very much had their own story arc and are trying to overcome these obstacles so that ultimately they can all come together, hopefully.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I kind of love that the families had to come together. And having the families come together, I imagine it causes a lot of chaos or confusion, but also at the same time for Olivia and Alexander to kind of come together. So it's kind of like layers. We love the layers and the depth.
Absolutely. Yeah. All the different puzzle pieces that have to align in order to make this work. Yeah.
So fun.
No, it's so fun to watch those kind of like, that's what you want when we're all plopping down with the family to watch one of these movies. You want to see that all that beautiful things come together. But your supporting cast, like your cast is back and so amazing.
And they're so good too. That's one of the greatest thing. I believe that Australia has some of the greatest actors. I mean, we see it time and time again that like so many of the AAA list actors are Aussie. Yeah. And so to go and make this feature film there and be able to dip into that pool of very, very talented actors, it's just such a privilege to work opposite all of them. I don't for a second doubt that anybody is those characters. Like they step into this royal, everything down to their posture, the way they speak, everything to me is so believable. I think they're all absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So great that the entire cast, like you weren't missing anybody. Everybody made an appearance or was involved. So that was fun. What was it like working with Mitchell again?
I love working with Mitchell. And the thing is, too, he was such a baby when we started. Like, so we did the very first one several years ago now. And I think he was like 24, 25. And so to see him very much come into his own, it's been a pleasure. And that was one of the things we talked about, too, with Adrian liked that aspect of the story that the woman is older than the man, and we don't often see it. So both on screen, it was fun to play that, and then also in real life to form this friendship with Mitchell his wonderful. He's made to play that prince. Right. Again, I don't doubt for a second that he is prince of some country somewhere.
Right. He is prince of some country somewhere about there.
Yes. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Right around there.
They've got a song, they've got a fruit. That's the other thing, we make up a song.
That is not surprising.
I know. But it makes it more fun. Like there's a reason there's royal Christmas movies for years and years and years and years, because it just takes you to that magical place.
Absolutely.
And one of the things is always, if there's a royal Christmas movie, there better be a gown.
Oh, I was so glad you were about to say that. If you weren't, I was going to say it. Yes. As soon as I read that fulfilled some version that life.
Cinderella, come on. Let's just Cinderella moment.
Always had that coming down the stairs moment in the gown. I was like, thank you for writing this. It made me truly, it was some part of me that I have always wanted to do.
Yes.
It just felt that, and that dress is magical. It really did. In all those moments, it felt like a Disney movie in the most wonderful princess way. I just loved it.
It's true though. Like everyone has preconceived notions about how that's going to have to look like. Thank you, Disney. We know we need that reveal. We need that stare.
Yeah,
we need that look.
Yeah.
So do we get all of those things?
Exactly. And I think what's so cool is that we also, while we do honor all of those things that we have to see, I was shocked and it's in the trailer. So if you haven't seen the trailer, and you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen to what I'm going to say. When she says no to the proposal, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. Even the look on my face, I didn't know for sure that I was going to say no. And I think too, Olivia didn't know that she was going to say no. And then it just comes out. And I think that's so cool. I think usually in these sort of movies, once you see someone get down on one knee, so to speak, or pull out the ring box, yes is always the answer. Right. But to hear a woman step into her own and say no in front of everybody, I just thought that was a really, really cool moment. And we actually shot 2 endings of the movie. I don't know what is in the PAC ending. I'm very excited to watch their edit, but we shot 2 different versions. So I think I can't wait to see which one made the cut.
Oh goodness, we'll have to talk after.
Okay, that's super interesting that they shot 2 different versions. How often do you shoot 2 different versions of a scene for a movie?
Certainly not the ending of the movie.
Right.
It was crazy. So we'll see.
All right. So just tease for everybody, how different were the endings? Like very different or just like slightly different?
I'm actually, maybe I'll talk about it once the movie airs.
Okay.
Because I'd be so interested to first hear what people think the alternate ending might have been.
I like that would be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to hear people's opinion on.
So drop your ideas in our comments.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun.
That is fun. It would be interesting to hear what other people think the alternate ending was.
Yeah.
As someone who's sometimes like that, like even when a book will do that, we'll be like,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're definitely looking for the gown and the engagement ring, but is there another like prop or scene or some kind of a little Easter egg we can watch for?
Well, I feel like I kind of spoil things with like not good Easter eggs, but that's what I thought.
Yeah.
The snow is not real.
No, yeah.
So anytime you can actually see it in some of the coverage. It was bubbles, and the bubbles were so they made everybody sneeze because, of course, it's like as if someone was just blowing bubbles constantly into your face. There are some takes that you see where both actors, or at least one, are holding in a sneeze, and that's my Easter egg for this movie.
We did hear that it was not cold.
So hot, Sarah. It was so hot. Oh my gosh. We were in the middle of a freaking heat wave in Brisbane. And I know all the Hallmark actors we talk about. It was so hot when we shot our Christmas movie. There was a heat wave in Australia. And we've got the gloves and the tights and the toques and the everything. It was so freaking hot. It was crazy. Yeah.
Mitchell told us he had heat stroke, I think it was. Yeah.
A little bit of heat stroke going.
Yeah, Mitchell said. Mitchell did not. That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna out him. He absolutely didn't.
We should make a clip of it.
You need to drink a little more water. I mean, if you had heat stroke, you'd have to go to the hospital. But you need to drink some more water and cool down a little bit.
I'm laughing. No, he did not have heat stroke. Who did was Dirk, who plays Ridley.
Oh.
He was, and I'm so serious, he was fainting throughout the day. Oh. He went home that night and fainted. Like, that's heat stroke, Mitchell. You were just maybe a bit thirsty. Like, come on. That's so
heat
funny.
stroke is not good. And beautiful gowns are beautiful, but nobody wants that touching them when it's 5 million degrees out.
Yeah.
No. And I'm telling you, and I the wardrobe in all of these movies do such a great job.
Right.
But as soon as we're in any kind of coverage, whatever's on the bottom is off. I am pretty sure, and now I might be wrong, or maybe I was lied to on the day. The scenes when Mitchell, at the start of the movie, he's in like the back of what I assume is like a limousine. Mm-hmm. I don't think he had any bottoms on. I think he had his full top, the whole suit on with the tie, and was just sitting in his little underwear on the bottom. I'm pretty sure.
As you wish.
Yeah.
That's an Easter egg for everybody out there. Mitchell told us that, you had no fun at all filming. No. And he did mention some antics that, during his coverage, you would just like throw a little wink at him or do something to kind of try to break him a little. So tell us a little bit about the fun you two had.
I think that's one of the most wonderful things about working with a cast like this cast, where they are so prepared. They know the material inside and out. They know the characters. So when it's not on your coverage, there is the liberty to sort of play and whatever you do to just see if they want to work off it. There was one director, I used to do a soap opera in Australia, and it was one of his favorite things to do. And I just thought, it was so cool because it elicits such a natural reaction where the director would come up and whisper different dialogue for me to say. And sometimes this is a soap opera. So sometimes it was like really left field and like crazy stuff to say, but it would get a reaction because sometimes we hear the same thing over and over and over again. So I think any opportunity you can to when you're not on camera, give them something different. I think is really, really fun. I love doing that wherever possible.
That's fun.
It's also got to make you have long days. These are done. So it has to make it a lot more engaging,
interesting, and fun.
Exactly. Yes.
That sounds like so much fun. And Mitchell, who plays the prince, we get to see him in the full prince stuff, right?
Full prince get up. Yeah.
After that was
so funny. Cool. I'll tell another story. I'm such a bully. At the beginning of the film, we, of course, or when we started production, we had all our wardrobe fittings. And one of the things I tried on was that breathtaking princess ball gown. Mm-hmm. And I walked out into the production office so that we could show the director and the producers just to get approval. And I walked out and it was so sweet. The entire production office just applauded, which is so nice because, of course, they're applauding for wardrobe. Did that dress on our budget is very impressive.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
But then Mitchell said to wardrobe, he was like, do you think they'll clap for me? And so we would secretly go around to everybody and say, listen, when Mitchell comes out, he'd like some applause too. So he was very proud of his prince attire. He should be. He looks lovely.
Come on. Every theater kid wants to wear
I
every
know.
little boy wants to wear a Prince outfit. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to be Prince Eric. Like
I know. I love Prince Eric. Yes.
They want that Disney moment too.
Yeah, the guys want it too. You're right. You're right.
Right? Just like you want the ball, you want the stairs, you want the dress reveal, the walk down, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Slow-mo walk down, right? They want their like Prince outfit.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Yep. We've been on both ends of that. So
yeah.
gotta have all the reveals and all the feels. So
yes, well
said. Isn't that exactly what people want to see in a Christmas movie that's royal?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Whatever you're looking for, don't worry, we got you covered. That's how I sort of feel about this. You want Christmas? It's there. You want that royal exploration? It's there too. It's just really, I feel very proud of this movie. I feel like it's giving the audience everything they want. And sort of like you guys were saying, you don't necessarily have to have seen the first one in order to watch the second one. I think I'm excited to see, of course, people that have and are looking forward to the second. I think we have, I believe, taken the story where I hope they'd like to see it go. But I would also be very interested to see if people, once they see the second, go, oh, I want to now see what happened before this. So I think it's going to make everybody happy. I really hope.
Do you feel like there's room for this to kind of become more of a series?
I was gonna say, but I didn't want to. Maybe you could sense that.
Let's send it out.
The ending. So
throw it up into the universe.
Yep.
Lift her up.
Like I said, we did alternate endings, but the very, very, very end is the same. Like the last few seconds.
Yeah.
And that, I think it's like, how could we not do a third one? And between us and now whoever's listening, I spoke to Bill Abbott, who is of course CEO of GAC. I was like, come on, Bill. Like, we got to do a third one. This is a really, really special movie, and we're set up to do a third. So I really want to do a third and it be a royal wedding, because how would we need that?
I think you are going to need some people to be in attendance at the wedding we volunteer.
Yes, of course. Yes, always. That's right. Because we were talking about that with how I said I wanted to do a sequel to the Costa Rican one.
Yeah,
the Costa Rican proposal. But
we're always there for background acting.
We can hold the drink in the background. We can sit and
have you been to Australia before? Either of you?
Never. I just said the other day, I've never left the US, but that's not true. I went to Vancouver last year.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I live in Minnesota. It feels like
Vancouver's lovely. Did you come in the winter or summer? Or when did you come?
We were there last December. Yes.
Oh, lovely.
It was rainy.
It was dark and rainy. I know that.
But it was still lovely. We had a wonderful time. Yes.
Of course. Yes.
Right, we did. We had a wonderful time. But no, I've never been. I'd love to go to Australia. But certainly a bucket list item.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Give us a couple of words to describe maybe like the feeling that you want this movie to give everybody.
I think that at the core of this movie, and it's so obvious because if we're talking about these sort of family of movies, but I think it's really important to keep this at the core of not just these films, but also your life. There's so much love. I feel that every single character in this film, even with the obstacles that they're trying to overcome, it's coming from a place of love. And I certainly felt so much love through all of the storylines. And then I also think that there's this cool element of it as well, where it's also about loving yourself, and that we had to particularly watch Olivia put herself first. And again, that still just comes from a place of love. So I would for sure say love. And then there's family, of course. And I think there is this wonderful aspect of I guess just magic, because like we were talking about how it's not real. We made this up. So it feels like stepping into a fairy tale, which it offers this level of escapism, which I think is really, really fun.
I mean, that's my favorite part about these Christmas movies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I just felt like there was both
Lost in a
stories
World.
have their, their things that they have to work through, but those were stories of hope.
Yes, that was the other word that I was thinking about was hope. Absolutely. I'll share a little anecdote. I thought it was so beautiful. The other day I was just walking. I was actually walking my cat.
Yes.
So, wait, on a leash?
Yeah.
I need photos.
Please post pictures.
It's really embarrassing.
No, why isn't this a movie?
Because
all the dog movies. Let's look at
the cat lady. Oh, walk your cat. It needs to happen.
It's my dream. Because people don't like cats. That's why. No one wants to see a cat movie. It would get very, very little.
Everyone wants to see the cat movie. Everyone wants to see the cat movie.
I agree. I was walking my cat.
Swift is a cat lady. Everyone wants to see the cat movie.
And I can use my cat. That's my dream. I want to do a cat movie, and my cat can be the star, and everybody will be happy because he can walk on a leash. He's a star.
Fantastic.
So we were walking, and a woman came up to us, and bless her, she was like, "Oh, I think we work together." And I was like, "Oh, I don't think so, but maybe." I knew. Yeah. Where I knew she recognized me, but couldn't quite. You know what it's like when you see somebody in a place that doesn't make sense, but you know them. So we talked for a little bit, and then she came to remember that it was from Hallmark movies or GAC movies. And she said to me that watching these movies were the only thing that got her through her divorce. And sometimes it feels like we just make these movies and we never get to see such a strong visual of who's watching them. Mm-hmm. And how important they are. Right. I know we turn out a lot of them, and it sometimes is looked at as like, oh, well, it's not these big blockbuster films, but these movies are important, and they do mean something to, I think, sometimes when people need it most. Networks like Hallmark or GAC, we're going to be here, and we're making these stories ultimately about love where everything is going to work out. Mm-hmm. I think it offers a sense of hope. And that's something that we all need. I think hope is one of the most important things to hold on to.
Absolutely. And we hear this a lot since we've been podcasting and we've gone to some fan events and we've just talked to different fans. Everybody has a story of how they started watching these. There's always some kind of really special connection. Sometimes it's I watched this with my grandmother, or I was going through this or that. But everybody has a story.
I agree.
And I think that that's what makes these so special. And then the whole community.
Absolutely. Yeah. There is so much. It's just the most wonderful community. That's why I hope to next year. I've reached out. I'd love to start doing some of the fan events because it means the world to put a face to who's watching these movies and hear their stories. I think I can't wait to meet them in person.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, people would love to meet you. That would be so much fun. So much
and then
fun.
we can all meet.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun at the fan event.
You need to bring the cat though.
There don't be too many people.
No worries.
A lot of people. I need the cat lady movie though. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Me too.
Somebody write that.
Yeah.
Cat lady movie.
Yeah, I'm all in on this. I mean, because think about. I mean, do people stop you all the time just because it's different to see somebody walking a cat?
My favorite thing is that his name's Cash. I'll get him. He knows we're talking about
Cash, come here.
Here he is.
Hi, Cash.
Oh my gosh.
So he attracts like a very certain type of person, which I love. It's like a lot of people are like, oh, a cat. Why is there a cat here? Because people don't like
3 right outside my door. So.
Oh, yes. 3? You have 3? Oh my God, Sarah, that's my dream. Yeah, no, he has a lot of fans and he attracts nice people, nice cat people, so we're always very happy to have a stop and have a pat.
Yeah. Cute.
Look at him. He would be a star. He would be a star.
He's my son. This is my
He's
child.
just like, he's sitting there.
That's what I think. Yeah, he wants to be on the movies. He tells me
like the Godfather. You'll be like, tell me.
I used to have a cat. She lives at my mom's now, actually. But when my oldest, when she was a baby, we would push her in the stroller and the cat would just follow us. So we didn't walk her per se, but she would go for walks with us. So I think that's why I'm obsessed with this story.
Her. How old is that kitty cat now?
She's like my daughter's 14, so she's got to be almost 15. Yeah.
And how's she doing?
Great. My mom took her over, and she's baby.
Yes. So oh, I love that so much. Bless.
So now we need a cat movie.
Yep. Yep.
So how old is Cash?
Cash is 11.
Oh yeah. She's
but that's the nice thing about cats; they can live forever.
Oh no, we had a cat that lived to 20. So
Julie, that's my dream. Oh, that's so nice.
We got him as a very young kitten.
Yeah.
Not very many weeks when we got him, and then he lived till he was 20.
Oh,
he literally fit in the palm of my hand when we got him.
Oh, baby, I love it. Yeah, we'll make a cat movie. I'll talk to Adrian. I'll see, or even in the third one, I'll say I think Olivia should all of a sudden have a cat.
Yeah.
Don't you need a castle cat? Doesn't every castle? I'm sorry, there is a Disney precedence for cats in the castle.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're speaking the truth. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I bet the queen upstairs, she's got like 8 cats. We just don't know about it. Yeah.
There needs to be a cat.
One of them makes their way downstairs.
Exactly. Yes.
We're all in. We're all in.
Great.
There's a cat in the castle. 100%. And it's Cash. Cash, the castle cat.
Yes.
There you go.
That's what we're going with.
Third movie written.
Done. No worries.
Perfect. You can just start filming right after the other 2 you're going to do. Yeah. New Year's Day. Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the movie. Anyway, my one question I have for you is, what do you think makes Olivia and Alexander so special as a couple?
I know I'll speak particularly for Alexander, which I really liked in the first movie, is that she was able to meet him without knowing that he's a prince. I imagine it's probably no different than somebody that has like a degree of celebrity. Like you would never know who was with you, or money. You never know who's with you because of ulterior motives. And she met him obviously having absolutely no idea who he was. And I think that it created a space where he was able to really be himself and know for sure that this love was genuine. And I think that, particularly for Alexander, that's what really solidifies this relationship and makes it very, very special. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. I think that's something that people can relate to in some ways, even like if they've had friends or whatever, you're like, who's here because that's part of the attraction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've all been there in some way or another, even if it's not
royal
celebrity reasons or whatnot. But
or like it can be things that aren't bad too, where it's like, I was, have dated certain people too, because part of the big drawing card was that I really loved their family, or I really loved the group of friends that they were with. So you're right. We have all absolutely been there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're excited for, I'm going to get it right. No, I can't get it. I write it wrong on my sheet, right?
Christmas Castle Proposal.
Yeah, Christmas Castle Proposal.
Like, it does not say royal in the title.
Christmas Castle Proposal. And the trailers we've seen and stuff look stunning. That dress with
it's magic.
It is magic. When you saw the dress the first time, what did you think?
It was breathtaking. Absolutely. It was better than because when I read the script, I imagined in my head, and then they more than made it what it was. Yeah. It was just absolutely magic. The whole thing.
I love it. Okay. Would you play a quick round of a holiday edition of our favorites game?
Yes, please.
Okay. And you can give more than one answer. There's no rules. What is your favorite holiday movie that is not yours? Since you're in like a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
My God, what a funny thing to say. Well, not of you. I mean, the idea that some actor would be like, well, this one that I did. Yeah.
Well,
I guess there's a reason that is in parentheses there. Yeah, fair enough.
Has it happened? I'm trying to remember if it happened.
I really like the cartoon Grinch. I just for some reason that one really gets me, and I like the cartoon Frosty too.
Oh, classic old school cartoon, the cartoon Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I'm sorry, you can never beat that.
It's my favorite song. And then I love when little Cindy Lou Who sings. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a movie musical in a sense. That's probably why I like it. Yeah, love the Grinch.
Yep. And then, and then Frosty, of course. It's just like iconic. Yeah. And just the way that one's animated in kind of a watercolory looking way.
Beautiful and so nostalgic. Yeah, I just love it. Yeah, I love those movies.
Yeah, we have all those and have replayed them over and over.
Where do you watch them on?
So it's so funny, like I'm of the age that we owned them in VHS.
So did we,
Then we owned them in DVD. So I actually, at Costco one year, there was a pack that had all the like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, the Grinch, Little Drummer Boy. I'm trying to remember what's all in there. And that made one of those like cute little Christmas DVD books. So then we have to like hook up the because who has the DVD?
Then you have to find a DVD player.
Well, I'm just actually sitting in our thing right now, and so we just, are the games hooked up, or do we just hook up the DVD and then just start rifling through them? Because also they're not very many minutes long.
Well, I know that's the thing. When I think about it, they're super short.
Yeah, they're like 15 minutes or something.
You can literally rifle through them all. They're kind of spectacular. So we still do that. We run them through the DVD player.
I think my daughter has found most of them
on
streaming somewhere. I think we've bought, like I remember buying, I don't know, maybe on Prime or something.
They should be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'll have to just watch it.
Yeah, I haven't watched them in so many years, but they're the best. I love them.
You can't really get better than those. Like all the new stuff is great, but it's not the same.
It's not those. It's like you need those plus.
Exactly.
Right.
Amen.
Those plus, right? Yeah. All right. Do you have a favorite holiday tradition?
Oh yeah. So I'm 33. My sister's 2 years younger than me, so she's 31. And every year since the year that I was born, my dad reads us the night before Christmas on Christmas Eve. And so still we're adults, usually her boyfriend's there as well, but we all sit down in our jammies and dad reads us the book. And it is a tradition that I will continue for the rest of my life. It makes me so happy.
I love
that. That's a beautiful tradition. I love that.
Me too. Thank you.
Very sweet. Okay, what about a favorite holiday food?
Well, I'm usually in Australia for Christmas because that's, of course, where my family lives. So it's just hot. So, it's a lot of, like what things that you'd be eating in really, really hot weather. Because usually we'll spend the whole day in the pool and then just how a lot of Australians will have a barbecue for Christmas. So it's sort of just more, if you imagine what you do on spring break or some kind of summer situation, that's usually what our Christmas dinner just sort of looks like.
Okay, so are you going to FaceTime home Christmas Eve? Since
oh my gosh, I know. I feel so bad. My poor mom. Mom was like, so you're missing Christmas? I was like, sorry. So I guess, I'll FaceTime home. I'm also maybe just going to pretend that it's not Christmas. And then we will, because that's a wonderful thing, because we are, of course, older. We can put it on another
day. You can do whenever.
A few weeks later, we'll have like a Fishmas situation. It'll be, what's the difference? It's,
it's interesting because my kids grew up that way because I work in healthcare and they work
of course
every other holiday. So we have our traditions, but they just get like, do I work days? Do I work evenings? Do I work not work, then we're going to do it this way. But we do the traditions versus the exact time it has to be.
Absolutely. Because at the core of it, what day it is doesn't matter. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, eating hospital food on Christmas is a real memory. A core memory. Like
are there too, I don't know if we want to go this direction, but aren't there too like an influx of emergencies around holidays and stuff? Don't a lot of people get randomly injured?
Oh, we get that, but it's I'm in Minnesota, and so it's cold here. And it's very viral season. We're often deep into flu season during Christmas. So first of all, start getting everyone together for their Christmas celebrations and parties about 2 weeks before Christmas. So by the time you get to Christmas, all the children are sick and are at the hospital. So I'm not even, it's just a thing. It's like, don't breathe on all the babies, then Christmas, all the babies get
wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Yeah, absolutely.
Next week for New Year's.
Yeah.
It's viral season. It's very viral season for us. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Tradition. Mitchell told us too, like food on the Barbie. I'm like, I maybe need a different venue than viral season for Christmas. I might need barbecue season for
it's pretty great, Julie. It's pretty great. Yeah. It's not bad at all.
Have you ever been able to experience like a cold Christmas? Like, have you ever been?
Yeah, a couple times in my life. And of course it is like, I know everybody in Australia dreams of a white Christmas. There is something that's
we're like dreaming of the opposite.
Exactly. So much like we were sort of talking about even before we started. We think we all sort of want what we don't have sometimes. So I do. I love the idea of a white Christmas very much.
Yeah, I will say I love a huge snowstorm. Like, so fun still. I live in it. I hate driving to work and all the miles. But
we have not had
the reality of it. But if I can sit and it can just snow, it's so stunning. Like,
I agree.
Nature is amazing sometimes.
I agree. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
What about a favorite holiday song?
Well, Little Drummer Boy.
Oh. Yeah. One of the movies in my Christmas.
Exactly. The box set. Yeah, absolutely.
Add it to the traditional old school.
Yeah.
And that animation, like the claymation animation for those.
I know. Yeah.
Because Rudolph is that same claymation animation. Yeah, it's so good. So good.
Yeah.
Do you have like a particular version of it that's just your favorite, or like
well, have you guys ever listened to Pentatonics?
All the time.
Oh. The other day, because I used one of their songs in, I posted about the Royal movie, and their covers of everything are just incredible. I know it's October, but I was listening to a Pentatonics Christmas just the other day. It's oh my God, it's the best.
A Pentatonics list of any way, shape, or form is always the most iconic thing ever, right?
Agreed.
Yeah. We just talked to somebody who said their favorite Christmas song was the Pentatonics Christmas list. So
that was just yesterday, I think.
Yeah. So no, it's spectacular. Have you ever seen them in concert?
No, have you?
I have not, but some of my friends have and are just like, oh man, amazing.
That would be an amazing concert. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Right. I would go in a minute to see them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. Tell everybody one more time the name of your movie and when and where to watch.
It's A Christmas Castle Proposal, no royal in the title. And it is on this Saturday on GAC.
Yes, this Saturday, 8/7 Central, actually. So we will see you there. A Christmas Castle Proposal, parentheses, no royal in the title.
This would be fun, and we're all crossing our fingers to hear news that we could get another one because, like you said, I think these are really special movies, and I think the audience agrees.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Of course. So thank you for being here, and thank you everybody for listening or watching wherever you are. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Merry Christmas.